Good morning, everybody, and welcome to RB Outdoors. Welcome back. Well, I am up Stevens Pass, up the Smith Brook Road. I just snowshoed in, and now I'm on the Lake Valhalla Trail, about maybe a quarter mile in. There's a winter storm warning in effect till 5 p.m. this evening, and I am going to build me a snow cave and sleep in it. And let me tell you, we have some epic snow. It is deep, fluffy, nice and light snow. So I still have several hours to finish my snow cave. So I'm going to get going on that. And as I progress, I'll turn on the camera and kind of give you guys an idea what I'm doing. But daylight's burning and I still have a whole lot of work left to do. Well, I've run into a little bit of a obstacle. I'm digging out and I got this great big bush of all things right where I wanted to put my shelf. So I think I'm just going to be right basically in and on the ground, if you will. I wanted to build a shelf to get above the ground because cold air settles, but I can't bust through this bush, so a little change in plan. So what I'm doing here, I'm taking my saw and cutting out the sides and the ceiling, and then I break it up into chunks with the shovel. It falls on the tarp. When the tarp gets half full, I just drag the tarp out, dump the snow, and repeat and repeat and repeat. That's the only way you can do it because you're moving quite a bit of snow and you can't let it pile up in here, so this is the most easiest way to do it. Plus I get to lay down on the tarp and be pretty dry actually. But it's quite amazing while I'm in there. The wind is maybe 2-3 miles an hour out here, but there's a significant temperature feel when I'm out of the wind in there. It actually feels pretty dang good. Alright, I'm gonna readjust this sleeping area and figure out what I'm going to do here, but we're making progress. And then I'm going to have lunch here in a couple hours, and then go cut some wood, build a fire, and then enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Let me show you what I've been dealing with. So the outside is nice and smooth, the snow flakes right off. But this is like almost like cement. When I even take my saw, it's like cutting cement. And it's a tough go. Alright everybody, I just went on took my saw and went on a wood run, and now I'm going to have some lunch, and I am starving. And for lunch, I'm going lazy. I'm going with the Backpackers Pantry beef pho, which is actually pretty good. They actually give you a little lime packet, a little dried sriracha, because I like it spicy. But yeah, it's basically rice noodles, green onions, beef, and it's good, and especially on a cold winter day like today. I actually brought my thermometer, it says it's 31 degrees. And then later on, once I set my sleeping bags up, I'm going to put this in my sleeping bag, just sleeping bag, and that's it. Then I am going to take a couple Nalgene bottles and put boiling water in them and put them down by the footbed in the sleeping bag and put this in there and see what kind of temperature difference is. You know, I've never done the Nalgene bottle with the boiling water. You hear a lot about it. So I don't know how scientific it'll be, but it might be interesting to see, you know, a couple degrees or more. So we'll try that this evening. Well, while my lunch is rehydrating, I'm going to start a fire. And when I build fires in the wintertime in the snow, I do what they call a reverse fire. So instead of putting all the kindling first and then building it up, I make a platform and then I put the kindling on top, and it seems to work pretty good. I got my homemade fire starter. It's just egg cartons dipped in wax, and they are 100% waterproof. And I always bring 3 sources of flame, whether it's a lighter, 2 lighters, matches, flint and steel. But when I really don't want to screw around starting a fire, I bring this. This way you don't screw around, just get her going. And that's it. That should take off, and pretty soon I will have a nice fire in the snow. So as you can see, this fire has taken right off. And I hit it once with my fire starter with kindling that I brought with me, and then I just cut some wood up here. Oh, it feels so good. Most people think you can't really build a fire in the snow, but you can. This particular snow is so light and fluffy, and they say there's only about 20 to 25% water per snowflake, if you will. So if you think about it, that's not a lot of water. And basically when the snow melts, each snowflake absorbs the water, and as you can see, this will burn down, and it will burn down clear to the ground. Last time I did this, it burnt down all the way to the ground, and I was estimating it was around that 8-9 feet. But you can have a fire in the winter. I think if you put it on a raised platform like this, and as you can see, I'm not blowing on it. I haven't done anything to it except enjoy it. And I'm about ready to enjoy my lunch. So I'm going to get to it. Okay, I am setting up my air pads. I've got 2 of them for that extra layer of insulation. Between the 2 pads, I have about an R value of about 7.58. I will let you know in the morning how well that works. Okay, I'm going to put the temperature gauge in the foot box of my sleeping bag. It says 23.4 degrees, and I got some water getting ready here to boil to put in a Nalgene, and I was just kind of curious to see what kind of difference it makes in the toe box. Okay, so I put the thermometer inside the toe box of the sleeping bag. I'm going to go pull it out. Nothing's in there. See what it says, and then we're going to put the Nalgene bottle in there and leave it in there for maybe 10-15 minutes and see what it says to see if it really makes any difference at all. Let's go check it out. So this is saying 32, and I believe it said 24 when I put it in. That's with no body heat, no nothing. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it went up, what, 8 degrees or so? Just from the insulation from the sleeping bag with no body heat or nothing. So let's get that Nalgene bottle in there and see what it says then. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes since I put the Nalgene bottle at the toe box of the sleeping bag. And so I put it at the end, and I put the thermometer just, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 inches away from the bottle, just in that end of the sleeping bag. So I'm going to go pull it out. Real curious to see what it's going to say. Holy smokers. 68 degrees. And I got to tell you, when I put my hand down in the toe box, it was warm, noticeably warm. So again, not super scientific, but if you're ever curious about a hot boiling water and a Nalgene in the bottom of your sleeping bag, I don't know, you know, without, again, being scientific about it, and it's 24 degrees outside, I got to tell you, makes me want to go to bed. And actually, that's what I'm going to do. All right, everybody, good night. In the morning, I am going to rate my sleep on a scale of 1 to 10, and I will let you know. And I'm excited. I know my toe box of the sleeping bag is going to be warm, so that's great news. Well, good morning. It is about 6:30 in the morning, and I survived quite well, actually. I told you I'd kind of rate my sleep on a scale of 1 to 10, and I would say, I'd say pretty close to a 7, 6.5. The only thing that I had an issue with, and actually it was my fault, is that I'm at a little bit of a downhill slope. So I had a tendency to slide a little bit downhill. So 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night, I kind of had to inch myself way up. Found myself going down towards the opening, but that was my fault. But the double pad, the Nalgene bottles at the bottom of the sleeping bag worked awesome. I did not wake up because I was cold. I mean, I was very comfortable, except for the sliding part. But so next time, I'm going to make sure that I'm on a more even, flat ground so I don't slide so much. But yep, I'm just waiting for daylight to break. It's just about there. And honestly, I think it's the tough part is getting out of the warm sleeping bag and getting coffee ready and doing that. So these are the gloves I mostly used for digging out the shelter and cutting wood yesterday. This one's frozen. There we go. The coldest temperature I saw last night was 22 degrees. So just enough to, anything that was wet and sweaty, make it quite frozen. But that being said, I feel pretty dang good. Like I said, the only bad part was I was at a slight downhill slope, and if I turned over to my left side I would slide down, or to my right side I'd slide down. But other than that, I was actually really comfortable. Really comfortable. So very pleased with that. That is a workout. Well, everybody, I just made it out of the Lake Valhalla trailhead. That's the entrance right there. I still had to make 2 trips. I would say I'm back there maybe just a quarter of a mile. It still takes me 20 minutes to get in and out. I'm on the Smith Brook Road, and I got about 3/4 of a mile maybe, back to the truck. So I'm gonna end this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm excited to look at some of the footage. I noticed a couple times my lens was very foggy, but not a whole lot you can do about it in these conditions. But it's actually going to be a 2-parter. One is basically the camping and snow cave part. Yes, I did some cooking, but I'm going to keep that separate on another video. So, thanks for watching, and I'm glad here at RB Outdoors we can bring you adventures while you sit on the couch and watch me suffer. I didn't suffer, but other than that, it was a very, very successful camp out in a snow cave during a winter storm warning. Things went really well. Again, thanks for watching.